Let your value earn your respect. They're not telling you about the lack of support. They're not telling you about the lack of friends. They're not telling you about missing family. They're not telling you about missing holidays. They're not telling you the real world of entrepreneurship. In fact, they're only selling you the glitter. Welcome to Let's Get Rich. I'm your host, Yahlil Lakwame, and today I want to speak to you about the entrepreneurial mindset. Yes, we're going to go into the mindset as we also dive into the world of business. Why? Because I cater to new entrepreneurs that are aspiring to different levels in their entrepreneurship, and also seasoned vets that are activating new skills, attributes, abilities, okay, and walking further into their purpose. Okay, I understand that there is a different mindset for all of us, but I also understand the vast world of business. Okay, so I want to make it an easy transition for those of us that are just transitioning into the world of business, just becoming entrepreneurs. Okay, just walking into the realm of small business. Okay, and just diving into the ecosystem of the marketplace. Okay. I'm speaking on this because I also understand there are a lot of stories that we may hear. I want us to understand that they are only stories, first and foremost. Okay? But there's a lot of things we hear about the business world that I'm going to tell you from experience. Okay? From not only hearing it, but also being an entrepreneur. Okay? For several years. A lot of times, what you begin to hear, okay, on your way into the world, okay, is a plethora of different advertisement, right, of the entrepreneurial world being butterflies and daisies, okay? You'll hear a lot of stories about a bunch of different entrepreneurs that started their business, right, and that scaled their business in less than a year, right? Some people in months. Scaled their business, right, sometimes from zero into a few millions, or from a few thousand into a few millions. Okay? I want you to understand that a lot of these are just stories, and we're not going to take away from anyone's success, but I want you to understand that numbers aren't going to lie, and I want you to hear the numbers for yourself. Okay? I want you to go through the numbers, and I want you to make a legitimate decision, okay, on not only if I want to enter the world, right? But if I want to keep following and listening to people that are selling me a certain image and a certain message that seems to be not copyrighted, that seems to be a script that everybody's selling, I want you to know that this has been the same thing, right? For the existence of business. Entrepreneurs been coming for a long time, selling entrepreneurship, right, to people who don't know much about business. So I'm here to make things clear. Okay? First off, as I mentioned before, numbers not going to lie. So we're going to lay some numbers out here, right? One of them being, right, the 3 to 5 business years that most businesses fail. Okay? So I want you to go ahead and look this up. This is a known thing. Most businesses fail within 3 to 5 business years, okay? If you click a link somewhere around here, you'll be able to find my video on why businesses fail between 3 to 5 business years, okay? But nevertheless, businesses fail between 3 to 5 business years primarily for the same reasons, okay? If it happens to majority of businesses, we mean 90% of businesses will fail. So if you start one today, okay, if you're in a room full of 10 people, 9 of you won't see the dreams that you envision. So I want you to understand if most businesses fail between 3 to 5 business years, okay, for the lack of innovation, okay, for the lack of the right mindset, and ability to transform themselves, and also the lack of spiritual endurance and failure endurance. Okay, and a few other reasons I mentioned into the video. So most businesses fail because most people fail themselves. Okay, within 3 to 5 business years. Stay with me. Okay, so if 90% of businesses, let's just give it 80. Let's just give it 80. If 80% of businesses fail within 3 to 5 business years, okay, this means the rollover story of 0 to a million sound a little far-fetched for it to be popular. How can this be the story and for it to be popular? The popular story. The popular story should sound different, but I don't think the truth would be so pretty. I don't think you can sell the truth so pretty to people. I don't think you can sell $1,000 courses, right, to people that is filled with the truth of, right, that you may fail within 3 to 5 business years. This is the truth. Okay, at this one endeavor, if you fail to innovate, but most importantly, I specialize in mindsets and mind states. Okay, so I understand it's only the mindset that separates you, okay, from your previous life to the next life, from one stage to the other. It's the mindset. Okay, so nevertheless, stay with me, 3 to 5 business years. Also, when cultivating a niche, okay, your niche, when you step into business, okay, you either have to build on your niche or you already know your niche, and the majority of the world, okay, walk into business carrying their passions. I teach people to do otherwise, okay? See that video on why passions aren't a good idea to start businesses on. But nevertheless, most people, right, for example, are starting businesses based on their hobbies, their passions, okay, their interests. It has less to do with their purpose. I guide people to their purpose, okay? That's most important before you realize this, okay, 3 to several years down the line. So if it takes you a certain amount of time to cultivate your niche, and what do I mean by cultivate? We need to learn it. We need to learn our marketplace, okay? We need to make friends. We need to build. Every school, okay, every college you hear of takes about 4 years to master. So you keep that number in mind. It takes about 4 years to master anything, okay? So let's bring up the rollover again. This 0 to a million within a year, okay? Within a few months. It sounds even more far-fetched when we come to understand, okay, that your niche must be cultivated, okay? Your particular demographic must be built. The relationship between you and the marketplace and the people in it must be built. This isn't going to happen overnight. There is something that exists called time. Okay, I want you to understand there's something called time. People need to build a relationship with you and your brand. You need to build a relationship with the marketplace. You need to know how to speak. You need to build confidence in who you are and the uniqueness that you offer. Okay, this takes time also. Okay, this is also why most businesses fail between when? 3 to 5 business years. Okay, then we also got to mention this last major aspect. It takes about a decade, 10 years, okay, to truly cultivate a brand. Okay, you know how they say shoot for the stars, you'll grab the moon, or vice versa. Nevertheless, this only means you're gonna make some money before you get there, of course, right? But don't expect to make much, right? Everything you make, right, is, for the lack of better terms, a blessing, okay? But I want you to understand, it takes you about 10 years to make some real money because it takes about 10 years to build a relationship. And this matters in all manners and sectors of business, okay? As it relates to music, right? We can even step outside of the normal fashions of business because the music is also a business, okay? It takes about 10 years for you to build a brand, okay? As it relates, right, to marketing, as it relates to promoting anything to the public, it's going to take you about 10 years to build a particular brand, to build a relationship, to convince anyone. Okay? To convince anyone, it's going to take you about 10 years. You know how certain entrepreneurs complain about the lack of support from family, from friends, okay? During that time, for my entrepreneurship journey, that was motivation. That was motivation. And I came to realize something that I teach others now. And this is this. If they aren't convinced, okay, then you aren't convinced. I'm going to say that again. If they aren't convinced, you aren't convinced. If they aren't convinced, then that means, are you truly walking the walk and talking the talk? They aren't convinced. Why should the world? Why should the marketplace? Okay? So they aren't convinced. So if your family isn't supporting you, like we like to say, I don't really like using those words, but nevertheless, if your family isn't supporting you or giving you a certain type of response, okay, on your endeavors, this is because they aren't convinced. They aren't convinced. You haven't been doing it long enough. Okay? You haven't put in enough efforting to showing people that I really care. I really do this. Okay? I'm bringing my uniqueness, I'm bringing my value, and I'm bringing myself. I'm dedicated to this. You have to show people commitment. People can see this on the surface. Okay? So I want you to understand, utilizing those three numbers that we've just recalled, running back. Okay? 10 years it takes to build a brand. Okay, 3 to several years, because we're going to college when we first step into business, because we need to learn. 3 to several years it takes to cultivate a relationship, okay, with our brand, okay? And then also 3 to 5 business years it takes for most businesses to fail. So I want you to understand, okay, that the story is already, right? Sounding a little fuzzy, I should say. The story already sounds fuzzy. Okay? Why is this? Because most of these entrepreneurs are showing you their millions. Most of these entrepreneurs are showing you their successes. Most of these entrepreneurs, okay, are just showing you whatever they think you want to see. They're just showing you, okay, whatever shines the most. Okay, because they also know that you don't understand. Some of us that are just transitioning. But I mean this on every level. Okay, I mean this on every level. Meaning when you are into the entrepreneurial space, we must also be cautious that there are also people that are aware that you don't know much about the next level because you haven't reached there yet, although you will. Okay, I wish you success. You will. But I want you to understand, right, that it's not everybody we can take advice from. You must look, okay, with purposeful eyes, intentional eyes, and ask yourself, how did these people enter the entrepreneurial space? Okay, a lot of people are also selling to people to go borrow money, to go lend money, making businesses around. If you can't reach the bank, okay, go this way and go that way, which I'm okay with. When your business reach a certain stage of investments, okay, when you can prove cash flow. But I don't want you to be convinced, right, that it's okay for you to begin business borrowing money, okay, just so you can prove your value. No, I want you to understand you prove your value first. Let your value earn your respect. Let your value earn money first. Then you're going to take these proceeds and then reinvest them into business slowly as you are building your brand. Because again, we understand it's going to take 10 years to build this brand, 3 to several years to build the relationship with our niche and our demographic already. Okay? So whoever's selling you this get rich overnight world of entrepreneurship, I want you to understand it's gritty. It's gritty in this. I want you to understand they're not telling you about the lack of support. They're not telling you about the lack of friends. They're not telling you about missing family. They're not telling you about missing holidays. They're not telling you the real world of entrepreneurship. In fact, they're only selling you the glitter. They're not telling you about how your last job, you worked 40, maybe 50 hours, but you're going to transition those first years. You're going to be working 80-hour, 100-hour weeks easily. Okay? And what they're not telling you is the most important part. For the person to become what it's going to take, I call the necessary energy. The necessary energy is the determining factor. Okay? For the person to become not the contributing factor, but the determining factor, and know how to take contributing factors and turn them, okay, into determining factors, okay, you became the necessary energy. This is going to require a different mind state. And for this mind state to be accomplished, there needs to be a mindset. Okay? And in between the mind state and the mindset, there is a shifting. Okay? You see how I just detailed the process that happens in our mind. I want you to understand, right? Most people fail within this shifting. Most people don't get to reach the mind state of entrepreneurship. Okay? So nevertheless, I want you to understand, be careful who you receiving knowledge from. Be careful who you're receiving wisdom from. Look them in their eyes. I know you're receiving them through a square, but look them in their eyes. Make sure, okay, that they look like they living a life. I speak to leaders, okay? And those type of leaders are entrepreneurs, business owners, brands, accountable individuals, also leaders, okay? I speak to this energy, okay? I speak to the confidence in you, even when you think it's not. I speak to that energy. I speak to you like you know, okay? Be mindful of people that's speaking down to you, assuming that you didn't know, okay? Why is this? Because they're creating a world of followers. I'm creating a world of leaders. I don't need you, okay, to inspire to be me. I need you to aspire to be you. I don't need you, okay, to make replicas in the marketplace. You are unique, okay? Let nothing take you away from being unique, okay? Thank you. Be sure to like, comment, and share this video with whoever may need it, okay? Stay tuned for the next one.